In this episode, we learn more about a member who deploys around the world, passing on her expert policing knowledge. We discuss the launch of Canada's defence policy consultations, give you updates to the force test for military members, and invite you to learn more about the innovation taking place in defence and across the public service. Welcome back to Defence Team News. I'm Jill Klassen.
And I'm Captain Shalako Smith. Here's what's going on in defence for the week of April 18th. Canadians can now have their say in shaping the nation's defence policy. Harjit Sajjan, Minister of National Defence, recently announced the launch of the Defence Policy Review. Canadians are encouraged to participate in these public consultations, which will focus on a number of defence themes and priorities, including what are the main threats and challenges to Canadian national security? What role do you see for the military in addressing potential threats? And how should the Canadian Armed Forces be equipped and resourced to carry out these tasks?
When our men and women in uniform deploy on international operations or on search and rescue missions to help flood victims from coast to coast to coast, they are not representing any particular region or any particular party. They're representing the best of what Canada has to offer, both to our fellow citizens and to the world. So as we move forward in this review, let us accord them the same courtesy, and let's give them the best that we have to offer.
These discussions will take place in cities across Canada from April to July 2016. But the primary means of participating is through the new Defence Policy Review web portal. Canadians are invited to have their say at canada.ca/defence-consultations and use the hashtag defence-consults.
A new CAF Force Fitness Profile came into effect on April 1st and was recently announced via Can4Gen. The updates build upon the existing force evaluation with new tools to provide CAF members with a more accurate assessment of their overall fitness. The new tools include a tablet application called eFit, a new waist circumference test, and an incentive program. Our own Captain Shalako Smith recently met with Daryl Allard, Director of Fitness for PSP, to discuss the new program.
So Daryl, tell us, what can CAF members expect to see changed the next time they come in to do their force evaluation?
Yeah, actually, the evaluation remains relatively the same. We'll introduce a new suite of tools that will be able to provide the member a gauge of his or her health-related and operational physical fitness. In terms of unit commanders, they'll get a gauge of physical fitness for their personnel and hopefully to guide collective decision-making in terms of programming. And then from there, they'll be able to monitor and track physical fitness from year to year.
That's great. And stay tuned to future episodes of Defence Team News where we're going to talk more about the changes of the program.
On April 20th, join your colleagues from across the public service at the Blueprint 2020 Interdepartmental Innovation Fair. This event is an opportunity to learn more about the innovation taking place across the public service by sharing best practices. National Defence will have a booth at the fair, highlighting our own innovations, including 3D printing. There will also be a full virtual program available for those who are unable to attend in person. Here is Edison Stewart, Blueprint 2020 Champion for Defence, to tell us a little bit more.
This is a great opportunity for members and employees to see what's going on at Blueprint 2020 across the public service. It was a great innovation fair last year, and I expect will be even better this year. It's just down the street at the Finance Canada building. And we'll also be contributing because the folks from the Navy are bringing samples from their 3D printer, which they use to create parts for all kinds of things. So it'll be a really interesting place to be.
The most recent story featuring Canadian Armed Forces member, called CAF Stories, features Warrant Officer Barbara Smith, who always wanted to be a police officer. When she joined the military in the military police trade, she saw a chance to have her education paid for while she achieved her dream. What she didn't expect was the chance to deploy around the world, changing lives by passing on her expert policing knowledge. Here's a clip where she gives us a taste of the high-powered life as a military police officer.
When they say we're Canada's frontline police force,
put your hands where I can see them!
They mean it. So when you deploy to Afghanistan, you're in the front, not in the back, not in the side. We're the one group of people that you can put in the front. And I'm trained, because I'm not just trained in policing, to roll forward.
Head over to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or forces.gc.ca to see Warrant Officer Smith in this week's CAF story. Then share your story of your most impactful deployment using the hashtag #MyCAFStory.
On April 1st, 2016, Assistant Deputy Minister of Infrastructure and Environment celebrated the centralization of DND's $26 billion real property portfolio under ADMIE. Deputy Minister John Forrester, Chief of the Defence Staff General Jonathan Vance, and ADM of Infrastructure and Environment Jamie Pitfield welcomed approximately 2,800 real property experts to ADMIE. Electricians, plumbers, building technicians, architects, scientists, and engineers from across the country have now been integrated into one national team. Now, here's what happened this week in Canadian military history.
On April 23, 1915, for his actions at St. Julien, Belgium, Corporal Fred Fisher of the 13th Battalion, Canadian Expeditionary Force, earned the Victoria Cross posthumously. Coming up from St. Julien that day during the Second Battle of Ypres, he discovered two 18-pounder field guns, in danger of being overrun by attacking German infantry. Fisher brought his machine gun into action and with the help of 6 other soldiers, held the enemy off until the field guns could be withdrawn.
Bravo Zulu to the Royal Military College of Canada team who defeated 60 teams from 11 countries to win the United States Military Academy's Sandhurst Military Skills Competition. The event, which featured nearly 56 kilometers and more than 36 hours over the weekend, featured 11 stations, including an obstacle course navigation, functional fitness, raft paddling, a test of marksmanship, and of course, kilometers upon kilometers of rucksack marching. Bravo Zulu to the team, way to bring the sword back up north. Don't forget to complete your Statistics Canada survey on sexual misconduct in the Canadian Armed Forces. The Chief of Defence Staff and Canadian Forces Chief Warrant Officer strongly encourage all regular force and reserve members to speak up on this important subject. I've just done mine. Will you?
For more information on this or anything else mentioned in the episode, visit the Defence Team intranet, and we will see you next time.
For Defence Team News,